And I'm out of focus for the start of the stream. Brilliant stuff. How are we doing, everybody? Hello. You can't see me fully, but I am here, and we're ready for another preview in during the festive period. Please refocus now. Come on. Oh my God. All right, then. Let's fix this up another way. There we go. There we have it. It's sorted itself out eventually. My God, that was a pain in the backside. I spent the first minute of the stream trying to get my camera to work. You see, for Christmas, I've got this absolute beast of a camera. It's an absolute beast of a camera. It's incredible. The quality and stuff on it is amazing. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. You can do it. Well, you can work it, be it through the viewfinder or like that, where you can, and then you set it into video mode, and it's incredible. So hopefully I'll be able to chat to Tan and film it on this soon. But that is proposed for after the transfer window. Well, Liam Rossigna said today they are very hopeful of bringing in 2 long-term targets. So that's obviously Ebiowi and probably a centre-half as well. Not too bad. Evening, Lee, and evening, Ashley. Yeah, that bloody camera, eh? I'm going to be honest with you all, I'm knackered. So I'm going to try and rattle through this as quickly as I can. Before I do, though, I am just going to say that I've heard about the news about the sad passing of Pele. One of the greats, no matter what you think about whether his goal-scoring record was as inflated and has as much quantity to it as he said it did, as his former clubs say it does. You can't deny, in the time period he was in, 3 World Cups, and at each one of them, he showed what he could do, and he was one of the pioneers of what we know today as the beautiful game. So it's sad to lose both Maradona and Pele so soon after each other. In terms of the grand scheme of things, it's only, 18 months between the two? Less than, probably. So, rest in peace, and my condolences to his family. But let's get cracking through into team news then. Louis Coyle's picked up a knock to his foot, so he will be assessed prior to the trip to St Andrews. Benjamin Tete, hamstring, and Adama Traore, hamstring/Achilles, are on track for mid to late January returns. James Scott, Traore, Tete, and Josh Emmanuel remain unregistered. And then Baxter, Pelkas, and Vaughan Colville all remain out injured, as does, I forgot to mention him there, Salah Oulad Mhand, who is back at his parent club, Arsenal. Yeah. Can't die. It was disappointing not to see Christopher Needler getting applause on Boxing Day. Yes, he didn't have that much passion for the club, but he did run it for 20 years. Of course. Am I going to any of the free travel games? I'm not doing Birmingham tomorrow, sadly, Lee. It's that weird time in between Christmas and New Year where don't know what day it is, and people are working one day, not working the next. And the way it's sort of played itself out, my dad's working tomorrow, so it's going to be a task to do it, really. But I'm doing Wigan, and I think I'm doing every game in January. Let me have a look. Yeah, so I'm doing Wigan, doing the FA Cup one, of course. Huddersfield, Sheffield United. Yeah, I'm doing all 5 games in January. So you can look forward to that. And then what's in February? You see, Norwich away does come in February half term, but it's Norwich, and it's so far away. Can't be bothered for it. So I think after Sheffield United, I don't think I'll do Stoke. I've done it too many times, and it's rubbish. I think my next away day will be in March for Coventry. And then I'll do Sunderland and I'll do Blackburn in April. And then depending on what happens with Luton, I might do it because I get the feeling that will not be our last game of the season anymore. That Luton one. Because one, it's in the suburbs and the outskirts of London on the day of the King's coronation. And if we know what happened for the Queen's funeral, everything stopped. So I slightly get the feeling that everything will stop again for the King's funeral. Not for the King's funeral, my God, for the King's coronation. And therefore not wanting to push everything like the FA Cup final and stuff further back. And that means moving the playoffs, the dates penciled in for those. I get the feeling that Luton away will end up being a midweek slotted in between Watford and Swansea at home. That's what I think will happen. So in April, we've got Rotherham at home on the 1st. That's a Saturday. Then on Good Friday, we've got Sunderland away. On Easter Monday, we've got Millwall at home. And then Saturday the 15th is Blackburn away. Wednesday the 19th is Middlesbrough away. Then we've got Watford and Swansea at home on the 22nd and 29th, with Luton penciled in for the 6th of May. I think Luton away will now instead be around what will be the 25th or 26th of April. And I think our final game of the season will be Swansea at home. Unless they just move Luton away to the midweek. So that'd be like, that would be about the 1st of the month. I think if you go to March, April, May, I think they'd end up, I think it'll either be on the 25th and 26th of April, or they'll move it to the, 2nd or 3rd of May. That's my belief. That's what I think will happen. How you doing, Kieran? All right, I'm well, thank you. And I'm not feeling confident for Birmingham. Got to watch out for Chong and Maysbury indeed. Good evening, Coxie. How are you, pal? Callum says I want to do Sheffield United so much, but I'm not sure I have the time going. Wigan though might finally see a win. Yeah, might have to move Luton to the Sun. Oh yeah, they might move Luton to the Sunday maybe. They'll have options, won't they? They'll have options. But it's just a case of, well, which one do they pick? Who knows? We'd like to do Coventry. One of the last people to attend while they're still at the CBS. Yes. Well, my big thing this season was me and my dad both agreed we're going to sort of strip back on away days a little bit this year. And we haven't done as many. I think that's a virtue of the way that the fixtures are scheduled. And it's a virtue of, it's something that we just felt we needed to do because it's a lot of money to go away. I wanted to do Preston. It was the Sunday before we went on holiday, so I went and did that with my mate. That was fine. But then we've done Huddersfield, Rotherham. We're doing Wigan and Sheffield United. We'll do Coventry. Sunderland and Blackburn. So we'll be doing 7, and depending on what happens with Luton, I might do that one as well. So it might be 8 that I end up doing this season. In fact, no, 9, because I did Preston. My God. Anywho, been annoying getting draws lately, but definitely take one tomorrow. Yeah, but even then, Birmingham aren't that special. They're not anything special. But and I think they're a beatable side. I'm going to be honest. Ref watch then. The referees Stephen Martin. The 2 linos are Sam Lewis and Graham Kane. The 4th official is Ollie Langford. We'll move on to stats. Said I was going to rattle through this thing. Got yakking about the fixtures. For our stats from the Blackpool game, then the possession and our shot count do a lot of the talking. I think what might do a lot of the talking though is crosses, because think how many corners we had, but then they don't have a. Oh no, they do have a stat for corners. 11 corners. So, but the one shot on target is sadly telling. But the good thing is now we're controlling games and we're creating chances. It's just polishing them off. We're a lot better defensively now. It's just little mistakes. And I'll say this because I might be getting. I can say limited amounts on this, but I might be getting the opportunity to chat to Liam Rosenior quite frequently in the future by certain things that are going to be going on. And if it comes off, because it's a big task, but if it comes off, I will ask him the question about what does he think of fans like ironically cheering Ingram when he boots the ball long, and the perception that the fans don't want this new modern style of football, that they just want someone like Sam Allardyce or Tony Pulis and could not give 2 shites if they're sat there at the end of the 90 minutes with a gun to their head thinking, my God, this football is mind-numbingly boring as long as it gets results. But we've only lost once under Rosenior. We've only lost once. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. Words fail me. I despise the constant moaning and groaning for get it up. And yes, I understand that it can be frustrating, but eventually, look, it leads to something. Just booting it long, because Oscar, 9 times out of 10, I love him, but he doesn't win the header against someone like an Aidan Flint at Stoke, or a Harry Souttar at Stoke, or an Andrew Omobamidele again for Norwich, because they are massive. Like, think of Jacob Greaves or Figueiredo at centre-back for us, right? They're both huge. Oscar, well, in the picture I've got with Oscar, let me find it. We're quite evenly matched in terms of height. Would I back myself to win a header against Jacob Greaves? No, I would not. But I get the grievances for the Woods goal, for what happened with the thingy goal the other day. Because look, Oscar and I are similar in height, look. Similar. If anything, I'm a little bit taller. But, yeah, look. Just stop with the moaning and groaning, because when we pass it out from the back and it works, because I'll discuss the goal that Blackpool scored in a second. When we pass out from the back and it works, we end up creating a chance. But just booting it long, Oscar 9 times out of 10 doesn't win the header. It just comes straight back, and it's pointless. So the problem with the goal was it relies on the midfield being a little bit closer to the defence. Woods and Seri, Woods especially, started too high. And Ingram, I think, was relying on the fact that he could give it short to McLaughlin and he could find Woods, and Woods would find us a way to get the ball out of defence and moving. Woods started too high, and by the time he dropped back and dropped deep, he just brought all the Blackpool team with him. In that situation, yes, it needed to go. Sean should have realised, look, Woods has got too many people with him here. It's just got to go. But stop with the constant mumbling and whining that, passing out from the back doesn't work. Just once Rosenior has moulded this squad a little bit more, and once he's managed to bring in some players, and we'll touch on the transfer stuff in a second, it's not rocket science. Moaners and groaners is what I'll say. And speaking of the transfers, just hold on. I'll try and find the quote from Radio Humberside. There we go. The quote from Liam Rosenior is, it's not done yet, but I'm really, really confident. Hull City head coach Liam Rosenior says they're hopeful of completing 2 long-time transfer targets early into January. So I think that's quite clearly Malcolm Ebiowei. But then who the other one is remains to be seen. And Rosenior also said in his press conference today to Baz Cooper that they're yet to receive any bids for Ozan Tufan, despite reports suggesting the contrary. Rosenior said, I've not heard anything. That could be speculation, but from my end, I know that if we do have a bid come in that's around an area that's acceptable, I will be informed. Nothing has so far been said to me. And Rosenior has distanced himself from reports in Scotland claiming City are interested in signing Hibernian defender Ryan Porteous. He said, it's a strange one. He's a good player. We keep being linked to really good players, but it has not come from me. It's that time of year. He's done really well in Scotland, but he's not someone who has been on my radar, and it's not an area of the pitch I'm looking to strengthen. That's an interesting one. The fact that Rosenior doesn't want to strengthen at centre-half, apparently. Don't know. As Coxie says it there, he doesn't want to seem to bring in a centre-back, but he definitely needs to get some more height in the team, yeah. He needs a ball-playing centre-half, but he hasn't got one. He hasn't got one at the club who's right-footed. He's got Greaves and McLaughlin, who are fine at doing it, who are both left-footers, but unless he's dipping into the academy or recalling Andy Smith, which at this stage, given our position in the league, there's still loads of football to be played and it's still really tight, but I don't think that's the move I'd make. I don't think Jones and Figs, these, what am I doing? Don't think Jones and Figs, these other two, that are, because we've got the two that can, that are both left-footed, but we've got two that can't really, who are right-footed. And Porteous, ball-playing centre-half, right-footed. I think it's an obvious one, but Don't know. And he said no to Curtis Davis. He's already said that rumour is nonsense. If Rosenior wants to reduce squad to 24, I feel like Longman might be on his way out if Ebiyobi comes in. This is only if it has to be exactly 24. It can be 25, and I think more likely to go, because we're on 24 at the moment, so we've got the spot remaining. So, and Rosenior did say to Radio Humberside earlier on, he said it will be 3, possibly 4, but no more than that coming in. I don't think Longman would be the one to go. I think Vale and Simons will be cut first. Then someone like Randall Williams, maybe Tyler Smith, Elder or Fleming, perhaps. Don't know. We'll see. We will see. Need a player like Billing from Bournemouth. Is he playing at centre half now, or is he at holding mid? Because as a holding mid, we're sorted. We've got Seri, who's class. And by the way, I love Baz Cooper, but that article saying Seri's flopped is total bollocks. It's the single worst piece of writing I've ever read, ever. So I think Baz has massively misjudged that personally. And there's a reason I think that he's been a bit quieter since then, because he realises that the backlash he has got from it is a bit meh. Yeah, poor journalism for me. Poor journalism. I get it's an opinion piece and that's fair, but it's still quite poor journalism. I'll look at it. Now I'd reduce to 24, let Williams and Scott leave. Vale Salmons record, loan out Smith, sell Elder. Only senior players can. Yeah. So Scott isn't registered. Neither is Emmanuel. Neither is Traore, neither is Tete. So Traore and Tete are, of course, going to be registered. Ebiyobi will have to be because he's coming in on loan. So that, at the minute, would take us up to 27. But then with Vale, Simons, and Randall Williams going, that would take us bang back to 24. So there's maybe room with that for one more. We'll see. When Tete's back to playing on the left like it was before, or having come on as a sub for Oscar, for me. Now we've got the players to play left wingers again. We don't need to put makeshift strikers out on the left wing. That's my opinion. Anyway, moving on to Birmingham's team then. And look, it's a very... Oh, excuse me. Oh. Don't excuse me. It's a decent team for Birmingham. So in their most recent game, they had John Ruddy in goal. Moving into the defence, they had Sanderson, Roberts and Trusty as a back three, with Longello playing in central midfield, interestingly enough. And then in that midfield, they had Majesbury and Curlin wide with Bakuna in the middle, with Bielik in the middle, with Longello. But then they had Chong and... Was it Hogan up front or was it Deeney? Deeney. Chong and Deeney up top. On the bench, they had Jonathan Lecco, Jutkiewicz, Joe Bellingham. So it's a decent side. It's a decent side. But again, they proved they're nothing special. They're nothing special against us. And as we move on to current form, we'll emphasise that further with their last game being a 3-0 defeat to Burnley. And now we got a point from Burnley, but that was probably the result of our season doing that, looking at how they're doing now. So Birmingham's last 5 pre-World Cup, a draw against Swansea and then a defeat to Sunderland. After the World Cup, a draw, a win, and then a defeat. Draw to Blackpool, and then beating Reading and losing to Burnley. Us, after the World Cup, we've played the 3 all draws after the World Cup, and then a win just before that against Cardiff, and then a defeat just before that as well against Reading. We'll move on to the league table, where what I'm going to say is don't think we're in a relegation fight just yet. I'll refresh it to get some more of the scores in. See, look where we are on 27 points in 21st. We're 8 points off the playoffs, and we're 4th from bottom. The league is so tight, and there's so much still left to be played for. There's 3 points between 16th and 6th. Birmingham yesterday, it was yesterday or the day before. If Reading, I think it was, beat Swansea and Birmingham got a result out of who they were playing, I'll find out who it was. Yeah, if Reading and Swansea drew and Birmingham beat Burnley, Birmingham would have started the day in 16th or in 15th, sorry, and they'd have ended it 6th. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. And that's just the volatility of the Championship. It's closer than ever this year. Like, even Huddersfield, they're only 13 points outside the playoffs, and they're bottom of the league. There's so much yet to change, and a decent run of results will propel us right up there and right in the mix. And that decent run of results, you lot, they're coming. Those results are coming. Those results are coming. Thoughts on Greaves playing left back? For me, I don't get it. I saw a comment about it earlier and just forgot to reply to it because I was on a rant and on a tangent about something else. I just don't get it, personally. I understand it if we need extra height, but in some games we don't. You've got Elder and Fleming there, both who are fit, and Fleming who... I think him partnering up with Cynic down the left-hand side would be incredible because it's just pace, constant pace and graft and effort at a right back for 90 minutes. For me, it's an obvious one. It's an obvious move for Rosenior to put that in there. But, yeah. Look. It's up to Rosenior what he wants to do at the end of the day, but I personally wouldn't do it. Evening, Ruben. Hope you had a good Christmas, pal. Off tomorrow on Tired Travel. I believe, by the way, last time I checked, there was something like 19 coaches for this one. Let's have a look. Away travel. So it goes up to on City's ticketing website here to coach 17. And on Wigan, it goes up to coach 28. Excuse me. Wow, that's incredible. That's nuts. Yeah, my God. If we can't beat Blackpool at home, got no chance of getting playoffs. Well, don't count anyone out yet, mate. Don't count anyone out. Thoughts on Norwich contacting Bruce for Dean Smith's job? Hey, all power to them. If they get Steve Bruce, then we've just got a chance of getting playoffs. A better chance of getting playoffs. Yeah. Wow. For me, that's a stupid move by Norwich, personally. I think they should go and get Daniel Farker back. Few points we're getting from these draws will do us good. Yeah, they could do us in very good. They could stand us in very good state indeed. My mate said at the game, said we can't keep playing this well and not scoring soon. It will all come together eventually. Do you imagine Sinica, Stupinian, Sayed Manesh as a front three? And that will happen eventually, I'm sure of it. No idea what site he's saying. Longella played midfield. He played left wing back. Bakuna, Hannibal, Bielik. All right, and Hogan's been injured. Okay, thank you for enlightening me on that, John. Marcus, what? What? Eh? I'm not even going to ask. For their sake, they need to get Scott Parker in. Yeah, very true. Very true. He'd be a wise appointment for any championship side. Thoughts on the street food class? Fine with Greaves playing left back only because I'm not a fan of Jones and I'm not comfortable all with both Greaves and Figs at centre back. Fair point. You're fine with Greaves playing left back only because you're not a fan of Jones? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Ashley, because that means Jones is... Oh, no, because, yeah. Wait, it's Sean alongside Alfie Jones, isn't it? I'm not sure what you're getting at. It's a bit worrying. 2 games in a row we've played. There's 10 ending with nearly every tackle we have on the pitch. Still couldn't go on to win. But with 10 men behind the ball, it's always going to be hard to break them down. And the referee didn't do us any favours the other day because he let Blackpool, kill the game off. And, you know, there were 2 fouls on Greavesy there that just weren't, that were given against Greavesy, that just weren't fouls. And that just helped Blackpool kill the game. And that's the real shame. But like you said in your earlier comment, it'll all come together. It will all come together eventually. Fletch, I get your point. Up the Tigers, pal. Marcus joining in there. If I keep getting that spammed, I will just have to take action, I'm afraid. But here we go then. The matches so far around the grounds on match day 25. In the 90th minute of proceedings now, QPR are losing 3-0 to Luton. And the games that have just kicked off, I'm not sure why that one hasn't, but Blackburn versus Middlesbrough is 0-0. Coventry versus Cardiff is 0-0. Huddersfield versus Rotherham, I'm sure has kicked off. Yes, it has, and it is 0-0. Millwall versus Bristol City is 0-0. And Wigan versus Sunderland is 0-0. Then West Brom versus Preston kicks off in 12 minutes. And then Blackpool versus Sheffield United kicks off 15 minutes after that. Tomorrow, all 7:45 kickoffs. Birmingham face Hull City, of course. Norwich play Reading, Stoke play Burnley, and Swansea face Watford. Moving on to memorable... Okay, sorry, Joe. Just thinking we give us a quick UO. Yeah, I can try. UO! Yeah, we'll give that a go. Figs has done significantly badly when Greaves plays a centre-back with him. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, fair. Going to Brum tomorrow. Good on you, Plantisa. Hope you have a good time. If we play Figs, it's suicide. My God. Anyway, memorable match. Let's move on. We're going back to December 2019, where we beat these guys 3-0 at what was then the K-Com Stadium. Tom Eaves gave us the lead just before half-time, with Campbell Grzycki striking just shy of the hour mark. And Keane Lewis Potter came off the bench to seal the deal. Our team that day was George Long in goal. The back four was Eric Lehigh, the captain, Jody Device, Reece Burke, and Callum Elder. It was a holding midfield 2 from Grant McCann, surprisingly enough, of Jackson Irvine and Leo da Silva Lopez, with Bowler and Grzycki the wingers and Bowen behind Tom Eaves. The bench was Matt Ingram, the goalkeeper, Ryan Tafazoli, Dan Batty, George Honeyman, Stephen Kingsley, Matthew Pennington, and Keane Lewis Potter, with Grant McCann in charge. And then moving on to last time out against these lot, it was a 2-0 defeat at the MKM, with Deeney scoring a penalty, then missing a penalty, and Juninho Bakuna with the goals. And this was the game that they had to sand down the goalposts because they were too tall. And Paul Woodford, head of operations at the MKM, was given a bollocking by City's goalie coach because that's probably lost us points this season, but it also probably we didn't take advantage from it either. But our team that day was Nathan Baxter in goal. Back four was Cyrus Christie, Tobias Figueiredo, Alfie Jones and Jacob Greaves at left back. Holding midfield two of Tufan and Seri, with Doherty on the right, Cynic on the left, and Pelkas behind Estupinian. The bench was Matt Ingram, Ryan Woods, Ryan Longman, Sean McLaughlin, Randell Williams, Xavier Simons, his one and only Hull City appearance to this date, and Will Jarvis with Andy Dawson in temporary charge. And then the record against these guys. In our last five, oh God, all the adverts are popping back up. No! Because the tab shut itself down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 2 wins, 2 draws, and a defeat. The defeat coming last time out. The wins started on that December 2019 date we just discussed. And then just after lockdown, a 3-3 draw, James Scott scored in that one at St Andrews. Then we beat them 2-0 at home last year and drew 0-0 with them away last year before our defeat back in October. Nice. Load of comments. Wow. Not 6-1. Oh, yeah, could have gone with the 6-1 one, but I decided to go with that one because it's fresher in the memory. I was a big fan of Curtis Davis growing up, but Figs is the best I've ever seen. Don't dish out praise lightly, but Figs deserve. Marcus, I can hear you saying that as you're typing it out, and it's the most sarcastic voice I've ever heard. The sort of voice message you send to me, like, "Well, Joe, I'll have you know that Charlie Patino will win the Ballon d'Or this year." It's exactly that sort of voice where you just sort of you emphasise certain bits of it to highlight your sarcasm. I can hear it, mate. I have to agree, Fix is the best defender there is. Thank you, Kieran. So overhated when he brings the team so much glory. When we signed Figs, Forest fans seemed truly gutted to losing, saying he's amazing, but prone to odd error. Yeah. Where do I think we'll finish at the end of the season? I think we'll finish about 12th-ish. There will be a bit of a promotion charge, don't worry, but I just think we'll fall a little bit short. On to shared shirts, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't changed my graphics since last time. So we're going for John Torral again. In the second half of the season, there will be more varied shared shirts options, but I haven't done a second one for Birmingham. I can think of Dan Crowley off the top of my head. I can think of... there is one. Curtis Davis is one. There's another one, I'm sure of it, but the name isn't coming to me. But Torral, he was at Birmingham on loan from Arsenal in the 15-16 season, 38 appearances, 8 goals. We signed him from Arsenal in 2017. He was with us until after lockdown in 2020, 56 appearances, 4 goals in a period blighted by injury. After leaving us, he went back to Birmingham for a year, played only 18 times and scored twice. From there, then, let's get moving on to my predicted team, where the tab has conveniently closed itself down. How incredible that is. But let's just make sure that's all working. Yes, it is. Jobs a good one. Right then, on to my predicted team then. In a 4-3-3 for Rosinia, I think Timothy Lotatala will get his chance in goal. At right back, Cyrus Christie. 2 centre-backs, Alfie Jones and Sean McLaughlin. At left back, Jacob Greaves. That should have a captain's armband on it, but it doesn't. Holding midfield, Ryan Woods and Jean-Michel Seri. with Ozan Tufan slightly in front of them. On the right, Aliyah Sayad Manesh. On the left, Durkan Sinik. And up top, Oscar Estupinian. The bench, Matt Ingram, Tobias Figueiredo, Greg Doherty, Ryan Longman, Brandon Fleming, Regan Slater, I think will be harshly dropped, and Harvey Vale. So I think a couple of changes there, with Longman dropping out, with Ingram dropping out, and Slater all dropping out. Incoming Syed Manesh Lotatala and Durkan Sinik. My predicted score, I can see us getting a result. Yeah, I can see us getting a result from this one. 2-1 win, I reckon. I think we'll come away with a decent result at St Andrews. Josephine, Charlie Patino will win the Ballon d'Or the year Andrea Cannon retires. Who's Andrea Cannon? I don't think we paid 2 mil for Ryan Woods, did we? We didn't pay 2 million for Ryan Woods. No, I'm sure we didn't. That figure was never, ever reported in the press, ever. Not that I've seen anyway, and I'm certain it wasn't 2 million. But yeah, I think we'll get a result. Goal scorers for us, I think Oscar will bag, and I also think Durkan Sinik will bag as well. Yeah, good stuff. Right, thank you for watching. I'm going to go and chill out, and I need a drink. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. Take care. And I'll see you for the match reaction after this game. But then the next match day vlog will be heading away to Wigan in the new year. So take care and goodbye.